IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Simplified, a show that explains intense topic from around the world and simplifies it for you so that you can appear cooler in front of your friends.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hey, we are back with a new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and I'm your host, Suju Matthew, joined by two of our experts on the subject from the garage, Kevin and Chiranjeet, both who are joining us via phone today. Now, before we head on with what we're going to start today, we have a news bit coming from the pre-season friendly, of course. Bengaluru FC played Gokulam, aka probably Malabar FC, if that's what they want to call them in the future.
Actually, no, Siju. It seems like they have decided on a new name. They're going to call them Kerala FC.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something. There was some other team coming up with Kerala FC name.
No, there was an FC Kerala in the local league.
Okay.
So they may go for Kerala FC. This is completely not official yet. So I think at this moment they're considering both names, but it's so confusing. What?
Yeah.
Kerala FC, Kerala Blasters FC.
Everything is Kerala, yeah. I mean, because the reason why I said that, I heard somebody, when I was in Kochi for the World Cup, I heard somebody say that they're planning there's some other team called Kerala FC. So I thought maybe it's a new team. A lot of confusions there, but the score was not confusing at all. It was a 3-1 victory for Bengaluru FC. Now it's like the third pre-season win for the Bengaluru FC team. We'll see how it all pans out for their upcoming season, and also we'll talk about the teams in detail once we reach them, previewing them. Now, another big news coming out from East Bengal camp. Now, yesterday we did preview about East Bengal, and we said how one of these players, when we were talking about, especially about the midfield, we said how this guy would be playing a key role, Nikhil Poojari, and now it seems that he is injured and he is out for the rest of the season. Chiranjeet, more updates on this, please.
Yeah, the thing was that during one of the friendlies that East Bengal played with Bengaluru FC, he got a knee injury. He was rushed to the hospital. He was checked by a specialist doctor. They did some tests on him for a couple of days, and then they unfortunately realized that no, he's not going to be able to play this season. And it's so heartbreaking. I feel so much for Nikhil Poojari, because he just seems to come close to the limelight. It seems like this is going to be his moment, and something bad happens. The guy has shit luck, even when he in his younger days, and it seemed like finally he was getting the recognition. He was playing for the national team, and he was getting picked for the camp. And this season was going to be defining. If he did well this season, he would get picked for this Champions Cup, SAF Championship, and then he would make it into the Asian Cup squad. But not playing this season means he may not get into the team in August and September. And whoever else comes up may put on a good enough show for Constantine to go, okay, I got it sorted. So this may leave him recovering from this for 2 years, and it's such a heartbreaking thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, even your heart sank, right? Yesterday we spoke about
any injury before the start of the season looks devastating for not just for the player, for the club, and this was an iconic season for him, because this was a time when he was not playing in the ISL, but being part of the I-League, and then all the ISL scouts would have had a look at him this season, considering how he's come up in the last 6 months or so. But this news is really devastating for him. And we did talk about what influence he could have got into the East Bengal team yesterday. So this is very sad to hear.
Yeah, well, let's hope for some ray of hope out there for the player and for the team. Well, our wishes to him for a speedy recovery. Now, a bit news update from ISL. There was a change in venue for the first match. So apparently ATK was supposed to play Kerala Blasters in Kolkata on the 17th November, but now it's been shifted back to Kochi, and finals will be hosted in Kolkata. A lot of reasons out there given out. Many are suspecting because of a cricket match going to be placed in Kolkata. Interesting things coming out. But that was a small update, and so that's the only change in the schedule. So the 9th Feb, the the second leg of the game between ATK and Kerala will be played in ATK's home ground. Now moving on. So folks, as you
what is the news for I-League schedule, Siju? Have you heard anything so far?
Well, I've only heard you asking Star Sports that, hey, you have the leagues, you have the schedule, so get it out. We have no idea. We're still in the loop.
It seems like the matches are going to start on 22nd November. Today is 3rd November, so it's 19 days from now the league is supposed to start. Apparently, from what I hear, early December the first derby will happen. And Indian Arrows will play their first match at home in New Delhi's Ambedkar Stadium against Mohun Bagan on 28th November. So all those things are fine. Apparently, some matches are even being moved to Sunday. It's all fine. But let us know. It's like just less than 3 weeks to go for the league to start. Just tell us already what's happening.
Yeah, it's the same old thing, right? With I-League, we're always kept in the dark until the last moment. So let's wait till the end of November to know exactly. Tomorrow I-League starts.
Clubs themselves will be actually prepared that any time of the day they might just get a call saying, "Okay, just get ready. You might be playing tomorrow. So I hope your stadiums and all your support staff is ready to travel or whatever they have to do." This is an experience that they've had in the past years. That the treatment is given to I-League as if it does not exist, and all of a sudden they realize, okay, they have a league to start, and it starts on the spot.
So folks, let's move on from there. Let's get back to business for today. As you know, yesterday was the 2nd of November. We started previewing the teams from ISL and I-League for the upcoming season. Yesterday, if you missed out on it, we spoke about FC Goa from ISL and East Bengal from I-League. And today we shall look at another two set of teams. From ISL, we're looking at Chennaiyin FC, and from I-League, we're looking at Mohun Bagan. So we begin with Chennaiyin FC here. And now they've finished 7th last season, just above Goa. Sad and unfortunate, because for a team that was doing so well initially in the first two seasons, went down directly in the end. A lot of things happened even with them. Probably some players left that made a mark at them, because they had players like Steven Mendoza and Ilano. They really had those goals pumping in, and when they left, we really could see that the new team couldn't gel much. But hey, it's a new season now. They have a new coach, and they are done, and they've come back from the pre-season in Thailand. They've had a decent friendlies over there, 3 friendly matches, out of which they have 1 win. Now back in India, they're playing ISL FC. So a lot of things in hand. Let's see how they go, and let's hear from what Kevin and Chiranjit have to say. First, we go with Kevin. Chennaiyin FC, how does it look?
No, firstly, this is the only ISL team that was able to get hold of more players or retain more players than other teams, thanks to all the bending of rules. Because you allowed just a couple of players from the senior squad, and you can retain any number of players from the under 21 category. But Cherry and Anigo Thapa, in spite of they being under 21, they were also part of the senior national team. So somehow they managed to retain more players than the other teams. This ISL for you. So
whatever the rule, some days everybody gets to keep 2, you keep 3, no problem, whatever.
Yeah, that's the bending of rules for you there. And beginning with that, so they did their head start keeping Cherry. I think somewhere if you can give credit to one ISL team for bringing up somebody, really is that is Chennaiyin FC, because Jerry has been promoted very well by the former coach, that is Matarazi, and that is the only trust I feel he gave to a player who didn't prove himself early in the game, early in the season, but yet he got better as the season progressed on. So he's one player that is going to be the key in the defense. But before coming to the defense, Karanjit Singh will keep his place. He's one of the top goalkeepers that we've seen. Yes, he's aging, but again, he should be keeping his place. Chiranjeev, what do you think? In the goalkeeper department, there's Karanjit, Pawan Kumar, who's played for Bengaluru FC, and there's Shahinlal Meloli. So Karanjit should keep his place, right?
Yeah, Karanjit is the obvious one. Pawan Kumar was with Mohun Bagan last season as well. And I don't really... Sorry, he was not with... Was he? Yeah, he was with Mohun Bagan. The thing is that it's a bit disappointing that he's still not, getting to be the first guy at any club. But he's 27. Goalkeepers age a little bit later. Their prime comes after 30. So it's not the worst thing for him to be there. It's a longer season as well. Shahinlal Meloli is the one to look out for. Maybe he gets some game time. Maybe he goes down to the B team and plays a few games. I think it's a good prospect. It's interesting how so many of the ISL teams have completely done away with the idea of getting a foreign goalkeeper, and that has opened up a good few avenues of opportunities for Indian goalkeepers now, isn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, that's there, and I hope because we've seen the great performance under the bar that currently brought out to help the defense of Chennaiyin FC, because they were quite weak in the defensive abilities last season, and I hope that can be corrected this time. Coming to the defense, this is important over here. Inigo Calderon, now he is expected to do most of the work in the defense there, followed by Serino, obviously. Nelson Alves will be there. Here's the thing that I'm very interested in looking at is the Indian part of the defense. That is starting off Jerry, as we spoke about. The right back is Keenan Almeida. He makes some great runs. He played for Churchill Brothers last year, and so did Falganco Cardozo. Now, Falganco is one guy who's been regularly, at least at times, he's part of the national camp, the senior national camp.
Kevin's favorite player, right?
In the final squad. So that's interesting to see if he is given a chance over here, considering the wide experience that he has. And along with that, there is obviously Dhanachandra Singh, who's definitely well built. So I'm surprised to have Inigo Calderon there, and he is expected to captain this side. That's what we know about. So the kind of pick that Gregory will go ahead picking this defense will be a tough choice for him, because Jerry, as we saw, he does uses his space well, and he's one of the guys who's very calm in defense and definitely not going by his height. He's definitely a great tackler of the ball. So he will be there on the left back position. I'm sure he should be picking himself there. And Keenan Almeida is a great pick. He's captain the side at Churchill Brothers, so he should be taking his place in the right back position. Now, Inigo Calderon, I think he, along with Nelson Alves, will make the central defense. I'm not sure if Cardozo or Dhanachandra will make the cut to the final starting 11. Chiranjeev, your thoughts on that?
Well, Inigo Calderon is actually a right back. I mean, he was playing for in that position for a while for the Brighton and Hove Albion, and so it's a bit of a dog eat dog kind of a defense, because it's like, just look at who Inigo has been given the captain's armband. Enrique, I think that's the pronunciation. Enrique Sereno has been given the vice captain armband. You got Nelson Alves, who's a proven talent in ISL, and then you have the likes of Dhanachandra, Keenan, Sanjay. You may think like, okay, Sanjay is a given that he's going to be a backup, but who do you drop? So I think it's become a rotating thing. Both Inigo and Enrique will be starting, but because you cannot have 6 foreigners on the pitch anymore, so 2 in the defense, and Nelson Alves will be kept as a replacement, and it's gonna be between Dhanachandra, Jerry, and Fulganko for that other position. And it may actually become a situation like when they want to go more in the attacking, maybe they take out Enrique, the central defender, and put in somebody else, an Indian right back in his place. I think the idea is that one of Inigo or Enrique will always be on the pitch. So that's what's cooking, I think. So it's a bit of a puzzle, and we will see a lot of rotation to accommodate different strategies in this. So the idea is like there will be somebody, some foreign defender will go out, and an Indian defender will come in, and we may see an extra foreigner in the attack or attacking midfield.
Yeah,
So
interesting points out there from both. Now, when you come to the midfield, I think Kevin, you'll agree on this. Yesterday, you were when you were talking about East Bengal, you said the most, the best part about East Bengal looks like the midfield. Now, it's kind of similar if you look at the Chennaiin's midfield. I mean, 3-4 names that I can strongly pick up here as names come at you, which is like, it's seeking attention, is Jarmanpreet Singh, Thoy Singh, Bikramjeet Singh, Dhanpal Ganesh, Anirudh Thapa. I mean, these names just hit you and they're like, okay, it's like they're waiting for them to, enter the starting 11, right, Kevin? Would you agree on it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Jarmanpreet doesn't start, if Anirudh Thapa doesn't start. Yeah, because, they lack experience, and they've just come up to the ranks of the youth teams, and it's difficult to see them playing against a full game against a senior team in the senior league. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're not picked. But they have to go in for experience. When you have a defense with one or two foreigners, you have to make adjustments in your midfield because, again, you'll have to want to keep the possession of the ball. When you have players like Jarmanpreet, yes, he's strong in his ability to keep the ball, but the experience matters over there. So, who will probably make the cut is Dhanpal Ganesh. He's much more adapted to that central midfield role. And he's kind of a leader in the midfield if he's given the chance there. But it's going to be most likely, three midfield from the foreign players, or at least two. So that makes it difficult for an all-Indian midfield. So my pick will be over here, will be obviously Rafael Augusto makes the cut, and he would play a major role. He's part of this Chennaiyin team for a long time, and he can play the role of an attacker, the attacking midfield, and as well as balance out playing as a withdrawn midfielder as well. So that is the first choice that I think Gregory will go ahead, and followed by in another midfielder is in the foreign department is Rene, who I feel might make part of the midfield there. And yes, Dhanpal Ganesh is obviously there. So that's the kind of mix that we have. It's not a very strong midfield from the sense that it lacks a bit of experience for me. Seriously, what do you think?
Well, there's Jaime Gavilan, who was with the ATK, did well. He's going to be in the left of midfield. Let's say we put Rafael also in the center. It seems like the three classic midfielders that we have may all get a start, or wait, they cannot all start because you have to have a forward up front, foreigner up front. So Rene Mihelic, he's the number 10, and he has pretty much done a good job playing all over the place, Nacional and Riga. He's played 3 matches for Slovenia as well. I'm not very sure if this guy gets to start every time. It could be Rafael and Jaime who start, and then we get to see we do have room for Jarmanpreet in the wing. Okay, and who else? Dhanpal Ganesh. I don't know if he will be able to start as often because I just think he's good. He's pretty great. He brings experience, but I think with his age, it doesn't make him a 90-minute player anymore because the game has fastened up. I mean, I see ISL as a league that has certainly become a lot more younger just by the virtue of reducing foreign players and increasing in Indian players. A lot more young people have come in. The game will be a lot faster this season. And I just don't see Dhanpal Ganesh being a 90-minute player for 5 months at this point. Anirudh Thapa, we'll just see a lot of 30-minute appearances, let's say. He gets subbed in the second half, 65, 70 minutes in, just to add some extra pace, and hope that works out for him. Bikramjit Singh is the big one, I think. That's
a great choice there to have him in midfield. Mohun Bagan is one less Bikramjit now.
Yeah, there is no more problems in the practice sessions. He's got the experience. I think he's the most feasible of the Indian midfielders at this moment in terms of what he brings to the table immediately. I think he will be playing a lot. So I think my pick would be Gavilan, then Rafael, then Jarmanpreet and Bikramjit if that's possible. Thoy Singh again can be a speed booster whenever you need him in the wings. Let's just see how that works out. A lot of it will depend on what kind of chemistry Syed Sabir Pasha, who's the technical director, but by the way, a lot of players in private conversations say like the main reason they developed at Chennaiyin FC was Sabir Pasha. Materazzi was there. He was the manager. But Sabir Pasha was the man working tirelessly behind the scenes. And that's one of the things that sort of gives you an idea that Chennaiyin FC will still be stable despite losing their head coach and some of their main players who are not coming back. Because the guy who was keeping it all together behind the scenes is still there. He's still familiar with the players, he's still familiar with the club, and he will keep that momentum going. So it seems it's the midfield where the Indian coach and the foreigner coach, new coach, basically, or the experienced coach and the new coach will need most chemistry there to come up with the best solution.
Well, great points out there. Now, before we head on with the forward line and the other team that we're looking at from I-League, we'll slip into a short break and we'll be back soon. On the other side, as we said, we'll look at the forward line for Chennaiyin FC and also look at Mohun Bagan in detail.
We're from the Daily Pow, a Bombay-specific food and culture website, and we have a weekly podcast called The Podcast.
That's Pow with an O, not with a V.
Why is it with an O and not with a V when most people spell Pow with a V?
Because it's Pow, not Pav.
And some people also spell it with a U.
Like Pau, like feet.
Yeah.
Like Pau Lagu.
Yeah, like Pau Lagu. So weird. To listen to more of us and what we have to say about the city and its culture and its food, listen to the podcast every week on IBM Podcasts.
And we are back again with the show. So here we are looking at Chennaiyin FC and Mohun Bagan. But we're yet to look at the forward line for Chennaiyin FC. We spoke about how the keepers, the defense and the midfielders look like. Now let's look at the forward line. Now the only name that I have problem here with and I see in terms of him getting game time or what is Mohammad Rafi. Now the onus is on both of you guys. Chiranjeev, we start with you. What do you think about the forward line?
Well, I'm excited about the Indian players. JJ.
Yeah, I think Mohammad Rafi is an Indian.
Rafi. Yeah, JJ is there, so he's likely to get a lot of starts. He's the face of the franchise at this point. Yeah. Mohammad Rafi and Boringda Bodo, I hope they keep getting game time from time to time. It's like there are, and it looks like there are going to be games where Chennaiyin FC will have a 2-0 lead, and the opponent will be hapless. So just give the kids run around for...
Rafi is not anymore a kid. Bodo, yes.
Yeah, not Rafi. Boringda I'm thinking about mostly. Jude Nuro, is he going to be there? So they're still looking for that one player that will be a successor to Steven Mendoza in Chennaiyin FC. And is this guy going to be it? He's 28. Yeah, he's very fast. He's played all over the place, and he's probably trying to get into the Nigerian national team. So he has a hunger to prove himself, and that's why he's here. He's played in Tel Aviv, by the way. That's a rough crowd to play in front of. So he's not going to lose his mind in Kochi. Let's just say that.
You mean in Chennai?
No, not in Chennai. Like when he's playing in front of a hostile crowd in Kochi, keep it together. Because Israeli league, I know for a fact it's very hostile when you play away matches. So he's going to be used to that. He may turn out to be one of the surprises of the whole season, and all the thing that we hear from the ISL crowd, all Nigerian and Africans, come to I-League, and we are getting Europeans. This guy may score so many goals that all the Europeans may be blown out of the water. So watch out for this guy. He's got a great finish on him. Gregory Nelson, he was there before, I think. No, not really. He was. He's a winger, and he was playing for CSK Sofia. I don't know how much this guy is gonna play. It's gonna be JJ and the Nigerian guy, I think. So and that's what I think. It's just a pretty straightforward attack.
Yeah.
Again, the emphasis is gonna be in midfield. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, the same point. I was coming to that. Now, Gregory Nelson is mentioned as a winger here. So what happens in forward department is you just have one forward that's injured. Now, this is Nigerian. Now, it's known to be pacey, but who's going to partner with him? So obviously, it's going to be JJ if they're going to go for a two forward line attack, or Mohammad Rafi. I was just coming to that point which you started with. He's more like an Indian, typical ISL player. Now, ISL was known to get in older players who've been past their prime, and he's one example of the typical Indian ISL player. He's 35. He's not getting starts anywhere. Now, he's part of a team where this forward line is expected to score a lot of goals. Now, JJ, obviously, we know he's a poacher. Now, not all the time you see JJ playing as a target man. You do require somebody to assist him, and Rafi is definitely not one of those guys. So it all comes down to who's going to get picked with JJ. So my feeling is Jude is going to be a great partner with JJ, just as we see in the partnership with Sunil Chhetri and JJ working out so well. So this is going to be a hit partnership if it does get along. So apart from that, Bodo is a great experience he might just pick up his great experience caps here in this season of ISL. So it's a weak department for Chennaiyin FC, but again, field is strong enough. They shouldn't bother about getting in those goals.
A new team, a new season, and let's see how John Gregory and his boys finish in this season with this whole new squad that they have in hand, with some familiar faces and some big stars. Now, moving on, that was for Chennaiyin FC for ISL. Now, moving on with I-League team. Today we look at Mohun Bagan. Now, before we begin, Mohun Bagan, I have made a list of these things, so I'm going to read it out before Chiranjeet pounces on me. Mohun Bagan lost I-League last season to Aizawl. They lost the CFL to East Bengal, and they lost the Federation Cup to BFC. Now they have lost also one main player, almost they call him legend, but still they let him go. We spoke yesterday, Katsumi Yusa, and East Bengal made good use of grabbing him. Chiranjeet, what do you have left? I know you have Soni Norde and Sanjoy Sen.
Have you heard of Soni Norde?
Exactly, I said. I mean, you all will always have. You can't have 11 Soni Nordes, right?
We don't need 11 Soni Nordes. One of the things, and I'm saying we because I'm not going to pretend. I'm a Mohun Bagan fan. Of course, I want the club to win. We discussed the I-League season last season, and I think there was Aizawl. It was written that Aizawl had to become champions, and they just got lucky in so many aspects.
Or Mohun Bagan got unlucky.
Yeah, they were. They were very unlucky. I would.
Mohun Bagan, just let me understand correctly. Mohun Bagan were unlucky not to win the I-League.
Yeah. Because so many teams just dropped points against Aizawl FC.
I don't know.
Even Mohun Bagan dropped points against ISL FC. They had a good chance of taking it.
Yeah, I mean, I told you about that last the entire last game when Mohun Bagan were beating Chennai City FC, and Shillong Lajong were hosting ISL FC, and that goal went in by William. And towards the end, I think if Shillong Lajong scored another goal, Mohun Bagan would win the league, and they just kept missing.
No, if I-League would have been a knockout tournament, I think I could have still bought your point. But then, one game doesn't.
Full credit to ISL FC. But what I'm saying is that it could have gone either way. If a little bit of wind had gone this way or that way in that stadium, things could have been very different.
Oh, Mohun Bagan would have played a better game.
About Mumbai FC as well. If they had
Mumbai FC,
they would have been a chance to win the
Mumbai FC lost consistently. They did not get within touching distance of the title and stay in the title race till the last few minutes of the league. They pretty much got relegated before playing their last two games. But again, without wasting time on the whole thing, I'm actually proud of the performance that Mohun Bagan put on. They have been the top two. They have been in the title contention for the last 3 seasons. They have been doing well in CFL. They were undefeated in CFL, had the same amount of points as East Bengal, and they reached the Federation Cup final for a couple of years straight. So yeah, it's a point of pride. It doesn't. Okay, we lost the league. ISL FC, congratulations, but it shows how consistent the team has been. The only team that has been as consistent as Mohun Bagan in the I-League is Bengaluru FC, and they finished 4th last season. Their consistency went out of the window, and they're no longer in the top division. They took a relegation, ran away from the competition, and they're playing in a lower league ISL right now. So look at Mohun Bagan at this moment. Okay, the team lost so many players. Devjit left. The strikers left. JJ left. Almost everybody left. Yet I don't see the team as being particularly weaker than it was last season. But it has changed. Okay, the team has transformed, and I think this was necessary because the team is no longer playing in Asia. We're not going to play in AFC Cup this season. B, the club is trying to move into the Mohun Bagan ground. So we're going to get used to playing on a narrower pitch, much narrower pitch, which de-emphasizes the role that the wing has to play. And I think the reason not to, go back to your point, Suju, the reason not to go after, Katsumi Usa, other than he would have been very expensive and Yuta Kinowaki is way cheaper than him, and Diogo Ferreira. Actually, from what the money they were about to spend on Katsumi Usa, they got both Yuta Kinowaki and Diogo Ferreira. But the reason they went for that was that Mohun Bagan is not going to play the same football anymore. They're not going to be a holding ball kind of a club. They're not going to focus on keeping the ball and individual dribbling and all of that stuff. So it's going to be all pass. So I think the team still has a lot of strength left. We have Shilton, Soram. Shilton, obviously, I'm cringing at the name. I wish he left. I wish he went somewhere else. He's still there because Devjit is no longer there. But Soram, I'm very interested about. Shibin Raj, he has been proving himself well. Shankar Roy is there as well. What do you think of the goal line? This is probably the one area where Mohun Bagan definitely look at the start of the season weaker than last season. Do you think?
It is definitely. When you talk about Mohun Bagan defense, the first thing that should come to you is who's the goalkeeper. And when Devjit was on goal, I think it was a great safeguard for the defense as well. He is outstanding at what he did. But this guy, Shilton Paul, he has been criticized so much by Mohun Bagan fans that even if he gives his best, I think he'll never be able to get in their good books. So it's again now you have no choice but to play Shilton Paul because he's there with the team for so long. And I think he's a great choice as a backup keeper. But as a number one keeper, I doubt his abilities. So coming to Soram,
just to make a point here, Kevin. I don't think he's going to play too many games because we have Soram Poiré, former Bengaluru FC keeper. He's also there, and Shibin Raj is a good young upcoming keeper, and he played a lot of games in CFL. I think Shibin Raj and Soram will compete for the number one goalkeeper spot. Shilton Paul may even become a kind of a semi-mentor kind of a thing for Shibin Raj and Shankar, basically.
But again, see, that's where the problem lies. When you don't have a clear number one choice keeper, you already are in trouble because it's a fight. Somebody has to prove themselves ahead of the other player. So that gives you a trouble already. And so that's the big department that Mohun Bagan have not thought about before making those big money move for some of the well-known players from last year, that is like Lindo and Kroma. So these players, obviously they came in cheap, but then they came in at a price where Mohun Bagan thought they can be a game changer. But they all forgot about the goalkeeper department where they should have gotten more specialized keeper.
Okay, moving on to the defense. Kingsley coming in from ISL FC. That's a good signing. Kingshuk stays.
I think he will alone be responsible for the entire defense to single-handedly take care of all the shortcomings in the goalkeeper department.
And then we have
coming to Bikram Ji. I think he has been okay whatever chances he has been given, and he will be coupled with Kinshuk Devnath, who's also a great choice to have in the defense. And for me, Debabrata Roy is one guy who can partner very well with Kingsley at the back. This looks interesting for me, this partnership.
Yeah, I mean, Debabrata Roy was playing so well for FC Goa as well. He played 2 seasons over there. Even at Mahindra United, he was pretty good. He even spent 4 seasons in East Bengal. Didn't get too much game time, but he always had that potential. And this is his homecoming. Like I met him at some point, and I was asking him like have you left West Bengal for good or something like that? Because he left in 2009 and had not been back since then. He was happy where he was. He played for Chennai City, didn't do well that much, but he's back in Mohun Bagan, and hopefully that works out for him. I'm also actually excited about Gurjinder, 27 years old, Tata Academy product, Pune FC legend, quote unquote. FC Pune City has also played for Salgaonkar Minerva. Minerva, he didn't get much game time, but I think this may be his breakthrough season. So other than this guy, other than Kingsley, which we're going to be an all-Indian defense, and rightly so, because just look at the midfield, how it is shaping up right now. We have Yuta Kinowaki. We have Diogo Ferreira, who's played in the A-League. We have Rainier Fernandez. That's a pretty good signing. We got Pintu Mahato. This is a local homegrown player, a product of the Mohun Bagan Academy, who played so well in the Calcutta Football League. And I can't wait to see what he does in the I-League. Although he's not going to get too much game time now, he's going to have to wait. Same with Shilton De Silva. But just look at this other name that has just joined Mohun Bagan, Nikhil Kagam. Okay, this guy has been a darling for the Mumbai FC fans. He was pretty good at Pune FC as well. I still don't think he has been getting that kind of recognition. In some ways, he's a utility player like Katsumi Usa. I wouldn't immediately go out and say he's a replacement or something like that, but he's 23 years old. He can still be a horse for the longer race. So that's more or less what the midfield looks like. It's not as explosive or as star-studded as last season, but it looks pretty stable to me. What do you think, Kevin?
No, what point you mentioned about Yuto Kinawaki not being, like for like replacement, but I think he's the best replacement that Mohun Bagan could have got to get that, same flow, the same technical abilities that
Katsumi Yusa.
Yes, he's one of the same style of play that he possesses. Both the Japanese have got those moves to help out the defense and as well as contribute in the attack. But what Kinawaki very lax over his compatriot is that the set pieces will be a lot less lethal. Now that is where the concern will be. Sonny Node, yes, he's been there for the set pieces, but what about the corners? The long balls that
Katsumi.
Yeah, Katsumi is much more lethal in that department. That's the only concern I have about Yuta Kinawaki coming in the midfield. Obviously, along with that, you have Chestapol Lindo. How can you not forget him? How can you forget his pace that he brings along with on the wing?
Yeah, dude. I was not, I was keeping the wings for later. But one of the things about Yuta Kinawaki, he's not as good on the ball and on the set piece as Katsumi Yusa, but the guy can pass. That's why I think he was interesting to the Mohun Bagan coach and officials, because his passing ability is actually much better than Katsumi Yusa. And the kind of balls he used to put forth when he was playing in ISL FC and Shillong Lajong, yeah, he's a really good presence when it comes to just finding the target, and he will be finding the forwards, the wingers, and yeah, you're right about the wing. I think the wing is suddenly looking way faster than the last time. We had Chestapol Lindo on the right. He was one of the best players that was there in Calcutta Football League. He's got pace. He did so well at Churchill Brothers last season. He may get to play for Pune City one day. I think his height is holding him back in a lot of ways. But I don't think it matters. The guy is shorter than almost any other player on the pitch, but he still makes it up. He still runs faster than the taller guys. So it's brilliant to see him there. It's brilliant to see that lethal left wing, right wing combo that Sonny Node and these guys will have. And with Yuta Kinawaki in the middle, you have a vector. It's a total vector triangle, because these three will exchange balls with a very rapid pace, and that's where the defense can get flustered, or the opponent defense, because they can exchange balls very accurately and with a lot of pace.
Yeah. So the forward line is where all the action will be happening. Obviously, they've got Dipanda very early. He was one of the first signings that they announced that they will be getting along. Dipanda, one of the highest. He was the highest for last week in the last I-League. So he will be coupled with Kroma, who's already doing so well. Kroma obviously played for Churchill last season, and he's one of the not the highest, biggest names salary-wise, but he is a utility player, as Chiranjeev always likes to call that. So Kroma along with Dipanda up ahead, and obviously do not forget Azharuddin Malik. This is great. When you have Dipanda and Kroma, and probably you have a three-man attack with Malik there. Probably Malik will not get the entire game as we are expecting, but we know that once he comes on as substitute, what difference he can make to a game.
But Kevin, let's just talk about Azharuddin's possibility here, because 6 foreigners. You got Kingsley, who will start in the defense. You got Diogo Ferreira is also probably going to start pretty usually. Both Diogo and Yuta Kinawaki are expected to start. You're going to have Sonny Node also starting. And then you're going to have, I think, Dika is going to start up front. It's a long and glorious tradition that Shillong Lajong comes and brings a top scorer in the I-League, and then Mohun Bagan just steal that player from Shillong Lajong. And Dika is the latest iteration in that tradition. So, yeah, he's going to start. So, Kroma may not start as often. Or if Kroma starts, we may see Diogo Ferreira go to the bench. And if Mohun Bagan are looking to become extra adventure, maybe then Kingsley will have to go to the bench. So either way, I just don't see both foreigners starting that often. Azharuddin Malik may start getting lucky. He may see a lot more game time than he has seen in the past.
Yeah, I think that's a great perspective that you brought in, because Kingsley, I don't think he will be benched at any point of time unless he is unfit. Because he has to start in a defense that, needs to protect the goal over there. So obviously the midfield is where, changes might happen. And obviously you will see one foreigner playing in the forward line. It's never a possibility that, Mohun Bagan will not play a single foreigner up front. So Azharuddin Malik, yes, great. He can be featured at least, maybe not toward the start of the season, but we will see a lot of appearances from him.
Yeah, just one last point, before we, I think it's about time we wrap this up. But just look at how many players, these clubs are signing. East Bengal, we were looking at yesterday, and I forgot to mention this. They had 34 players in the squad. Okay? And Mohun Bagan, at this point, have 30 players. And a lot of them are already very experienced in the top level. So, just look at the depth there. I mean, take the right wing, for example. Nikhil Kadam can also play in the right wing. Chistapal Lingdo is obviously starting as the right winger. Bikuke Bengaicho. He played in Bengaluru FC for 4 seasons. He was with Bengaluru FC till last season. He's also a right winger, and he's very similar to Chistapal, but a bit older and more experienced. So, I just don't see a single position where if you get 2 or 3 injuries, that there will be any significant change to the way Mohun Bagan will play, other than Sony Node. If Sony Node gets injured, they're screwed on the left. But everywhere else, there always seems to be somebody who's willing to step up. And I think this is a result of Mohun Bagan having to build a full season team instead of just waiting for ISL to get over and just get a 5-month squad put together out of whoever has played in ISL. So that's one of the good things about the parallel league, that we just everybody stepped up. Even Mohun Bagan has stepped up in the way they're building the squad.
Well, in that way, we'll see how both the teams that we preview today will do in the seasons ISL and I-League respectively in the coming season. Let's see how both these teams do. And that's all for today's show. If you like, please show us like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get updates of our new episode. If you're listening to us on YouTube, then do so. Leave your comments below and let us know what you think about these teams, and your thoughts will be valuable and we'll make a note of that as well. Follow the TFG Football Twitter handle to get all the updates about Indian football. You can also talk to us directly on Twitter. You can also read about all the stories up on our website, thefangirls.com. Have a great day. Cheers.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started ATKT.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through ATKT.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. ATKT.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.